keep writing songs and keep practicing, no matter what.
This vlog will be a little bit different. We thought we share a little bit about our past. We had 7 rehearsal spaces in 6 years now. We had to deal with a lot of problems, and we thought maybe we got some advice for you. Our first one was exactly here. It was a pretty small room. It was basically a storage room.
And that's where it all started. We started jamming together in the basement. Timo just bought a drum kit, even though he couldn't play it all. And we started playing, Metallica riffs, not even songs, just riffs. Creeping Death, Seek and Destroy, and Set But True. The first 2 or 3 riffs we ever wrote, we wrote here, in this basement. The riff for Volition, for example, you might want to check that out. It's a pretty, let's say, easy riff to play, but we wrote that one down here.
Also Shifting Sands, I remember. And we did this for half a year until we got some problems because we were too loud. So we needed a new place where we can do whatever we want. And here it is. This place was almost perfect. It was an old refrigerator and it was really big.
So we basically had the whole space for ourselves, and we could do whatever we wanted. We had a lot of parties, especially like outside over there. And then I also remember that one evening I went up the roof here with Souhaieb to drink on the roof.
We had our first concert here. It's down there in the basement. We had like 400 people coming.
When we got the new space, we started out to write our first songs. The first demos here, like 3 or 4 songs. Also played shows in our rehearsal space.
Yeah.
Some people liked it, some people didn't.
And then one day we got access to the stage.
It was a good place to start getting into the music scene. At first we had the rehearsal space on the first floor here, and then we had to move our whole gear downstairs because someone made a disco out of the upper area, so we were forced to leave.
And the room was exactly here. It was smaller than the other one.
And very humid. All the walls were kind of wet all the time, and our instruments, and especially our guitar amps, would start to fail while we played. So it wasn't a really good room or space, but at least we could stay here and continue to rehearse.
Yes, I remember that we got quite serious in this room because we were playing like 5 times a week, and then I remember even we came at 5 in the morning before going to work.
Yeah, we had 1 day per week where we met before work or whatever was going on, and then I still remember how I picked up breakfast at the gas station, and we made coffee down here, and we always listened to Etecc. Armed and Dangerous was the first song we listened to every time we met at 5 a.m. here.
But it wasn't perfect because of this humidity problem, and we tried to talk to the owner about this problem, but he didn't care at all, and then he even said, do you remember it?
Yeah, it was our fault. He said it was so wet and humid because of all of our beer bottles we had left there.
Yes.
Which is not true, but yeah, so we had a little discussion with him and then kind of had to leave at some point.
Next room.
Next room.
And there it is.
I discovered it through an ad. The owner was renting out an office space. I just called and tried my luck, and I don't think they really knew that we were a metal band. Because later on we had a little trouble with the neighbors as well, because they said, blah blah, the bass is too loud while we hang out in the garden during the summer and all that. My parents live over there, less than a minute away. It was very easy for me to get to this rehearsal space here.
But we had it for a year, I think.
Yeah, for about a year, and the room itself was pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah. It was heated.
Heated.
First room that is heated.
It was pretty small, but it was new and it was comfortable. while we stayed in this rehearsal space. We finished the album.
Yes.
Finished the
I
last.
remember that we wrote I Am the Light here, which was the last song we wrote on this album.
And we also drank a lot, and that's why scenes like this here happened. Back to three, motherfucker.
And this is what we basically did all day.
My lord!
This is the next room. We had this whole thing. We had a corridor.
Obviously, the rehearsal space.
We had a place where we can sit and drink beer.
The living room is what Souhaieb means. And we also had the whole garden. And we only paid like 100 euros per month for the whole place. In this house, we recorded our first album, the first record, with one of our buddies from Manchester, England, Marc Jones. We flew him over and we did the whole thing in there. It was really fucking cold because we didn't have any heating at all. And he came over in November for about 2 weeks, and it was so fucking cold that we needed like an hour to warm up before we could even start to record stuff really. And had to drink tea and beer to make ourselves somehow comfortable in there.
But unfortunately, this house was sold. We decided to build our own space.
It took us almost more than a year to build the whole thing. It turned out pretty great, I would say. We had a space that was like 60 square meters big. It was like nice and clean, and we had heating. And the space also was a studio. So our actual plan was to record the next album in there. We built a rehearsal space on Rouven's property. So after we decided to move on without Rouven, we again were forced to find a new room. And since I moved to Hanover and Timo still lives in Hanover, we looked for a room there and found one. So that's a room you might have already seen.
If you have a band, you will encounter these problems with rehearsal spaces. And if you live in a place that is small like we live, you will have trouble to find a place to rehearse with your band. And even we had like a lot of problems to get a place. We never stopped to search, and I think it's really important to be persistent.
Most of the rehearsal spaces we had were pretty uncommon. So, for example, we rehearsed in an office space for quite a while, and we also had, as you saw, a whole house. And we just asked people. The people who rented it out didn't actually say they were looking for a band, or they didn't rent out a rehearsal space. We just asked them and tried to find something new.
You know, in life it won't always go like planned.
So you will have to deal with change and, most importantly, accept it, because it's always going to happen, and you just have to adjust accordingly. So a lot of times you will have to adapt to the situation and try to find a way to work through it, to keep writing songs and keep practicing no matter what.
We hope you have a better idea now, and that's it.